Run it back, Nation. What is good? It is your boy DJ Eastwood. Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros ever. I've never had an intro. If you said I did, you're lying to yourself, man. There's never, ever, ever been an intro. Algo Gang, do your thing. Hit the like button on the video. Put me through the YouTube algorithm. Comment on the video. It doesn't matter what you say. Put your favorite emoji in there. It doesn't matter. Subscribe to the channel and turn your notification bell on. All right? All the things the Philadelphia 76ers need to do to have a successful second half of the season heading into the playoffs. But before we get into that, just a quick one this time. We do have another Ben Simmons roast. Just a quick one. It'll be over soon. If there's any fanboys left that keep commenting and saying, why don't you stop talking about Ben Simmons? It's just going to take a second, all right? Should fast forward or something, crybabies. Listen, in the 2021 playoffs, Bradley Beal intentionally fouled Ben Simmons, and they exchanged words. Ben Simmons said to Bradley Beal, "I'm tired of you motherfuckers fouling me on purpose, man. I'm going to step up here and knock these down. $5,000 says I will." Bradley Beal said, "Do you want to make it $20,000?" Ben Simmons walked up to the free throw line and bricked the first free throw. But I just want to speak about that for a second. The fact that he said, "I'm tired of you motherfuckers fouling me on purpose," is his mindset. It's a small-scale example of his overall mindset. Everything is somebody else's fault. Instead of, "I'm tired of sucking at shooting free throws," he's tired of them fouling him on purpose. But he doesn't see that, like, bro, if you continue to shoot 48% from the free throw line, teams are going to continue to foul you on purpose. He's an idiot, and that's why he is where he is, and that's why the decline of Ben Simmons is otherworldly and unbelievable. All right, let's move on. All the things the Philadelphia 76ers have to do to have a successful second half of the season heading toward the playoffs, aside from the obvious things, okay? The number one thing the Philadelphia 76ers have to do is fire Doc Rivers. But that's not going to happen. So the things the Sixers need to do with Doc Rivers to have a successful second half of the season. All right, you know, the first thing is they need to maximize Tyrese Maxiell. All right, Tyrese Maxey's been up and down this season. Started the season hot. Last year when James Harden joined the team, Tyrese Maxiell had the best numbers of his career. This season he started out hot. Then he got the foot injury. He was out for a month and a half with a fractured foot. He comes back. He was inconsistent with the shooting and got moved to the bench because the Sixers think that, well, he's been bad defensively also. He got moved to the bench because the analytics basically say that DeAnthony Melton would be more valuable in the starting lineup, and having Tyrese Maxey's scoring output coming off the bench would be a better balance overall for the team. I still don't know yet if I agree or disagree with that. But, you know, Tyrese Maxey, since moving to the bench, has had some great games, has had some not so great games. They need to get Maxey in a groove. They need to get the most out of Tyrese Maxey the second part of this season heading into the playoffs. If they can get Tyrese Maxey playing at his peak level, if they can get the best version of Tyrese Maxey cooking on all cylinders headed towards the playoffs, you do have a three-headed monster. You know what you're getting from Joel Embiid. You know what you're getting from James Harden. I think you know what you're getting from James Harden this year, being healthy, having that full off-season rehab, and finally getting an off-season to get in shape. You know what you're getting from James. You know what you're getting from Joel. I think Tyrese Maxey is one of the X factors for this team in the second half of the season moving towards the playoff. If they can get moving towards the playoffs, if they can get the best version of Tyrese Maxey throughout this second half of the season headed toward the playoffs, they are in fantastic shape. Number two, they need to play Paul Reed at backup center. They just have to play Paul Reed at backup center. It is what it is. The numbers are in your face on the wall. I mean, it's very obvious. He won the backup center position last year in the playoffs against the Toronto Raptors. He played every single minute at backup center, and they won that playoff series against a decent and very athletic Toronto Raptors team. They won that playoff series, and Paul Reed played every minute at backup center. They came into this season, Doc Rivers said, fuck Paul Reed. I'm going with Montrezl Harrell, and Montrezl Harrell has been atrocious at defending the rim, at rebounding, at doing everything you need a backup center to do for 10 solid minutes, okay? He hasn't been good. He has not been good. All right? The Sixers are winners of 4 in a row, and in those 4 games in a row, guess who's been at backup center? Paul Reed. Against the New York Knicks on Friday, February 10th, Paul Reed played 10 minutes at backup center. He was a +4. He had 4 rebounds and 2 blocks. I keep saying survive the Embiidless minutes. Just don't be a -15 in 1 minute. Be a 0, and we can win. Seriously. So he was a +4. All right, the next game against the Brooklyn Nets, Saturday, Paul Reed played 10 minutes at backup center. He was a -2 and had 3 rebounds, and that wasn't a great game for the Sixers overall at all, but they squeaked out the win after blowing a massive lead, like how they normally do it. The next game against the Houston Rockets, Paul Reed played 17 minutes at backup center. He was a +7 with 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. The next game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, where they blew a 28-point lead and hung on to win the game. But it's the Cavs, and that's a solid team. Donovan Mitchell got hot in the third quarter. You know the story. In that game, Paul Reed played 9 minutes at backup center. He was a +3 with 4 rebounds and 2 blocks. You just have to play Paul Reed at backup center. You can't go Montrezl Harrell. You can't go Dwayne Dedmon. I don't know if Doc Rivers is going to do the right thing. If I was a betting man, which I'm not until a betting company sponsors my YouTube channel, if I was a betting man, I would say Doc's going to go to Trez, then he's going to go to Paul, and he's going to go to Dwayne Dedmon at times. And Trez and Dedmon are going to be a disaster against athletic teams that can rebound and play defense. And he's going to have to go to Paul. You got to go Paul Reed. You have to. Tyrese Maxiell being at his top level and playing Paul Reed at backup center right now, unless they sign someone else, is the keys to the Sixers' second half of the season moving towards the playoff. The third thing is I want to see more Jalen McDaniels. I think Jalen McDaniels is a very good player, is the type of player the Sixers haven't had on their roster for a long time. 6'10", long, can move his feet, can play defense at his size, and has an offensive side to his game, can handle the ball a little bit, can shoot the ball a little bit, can drive and finish through contact, can make plays. A 6'10" basketball player is Jalen McDaniels. Something the Sixers have been lacking. You got a 6'7" backup center in Montrezl Harrell. You got George Niang, who can't jump over a Pepsi can. They just have had. You got 6'5" PJ Tucker. They're short and unathletic. So Jalen McDaniels does help that issue, and I really, really like the trade. Even though I feel like Matisse Thybulle didn't get a fair shot and didn't get developed the way that he'll probably get developed by another organization. I think Jalen McDaniels was the right trade at the trade deadline, and I like it. I want to see more Jalen McDaniels. I want to see more Jalen McDaniels and Paul Reed on the floor together. That second unit of Jalen McDaniels and Paul Reed is a nightmare for offenses. Just hands in passing lanes, diving on the floor, steals, blocks, rebounds. Those two guys are the most athletic players on the damn team. Paul Reed and Jalen McDaniels are the most straight up athletic players on the roster. Doc has been experimenting a little bit, playing both of them at the same time in that second unit, and it's been a nightmare for offenses. Also, DeAnthony Melton on the floor with Jalen McDaniels and Paul Reed in the second unit was a nightmare for offenses the couple of minutes that we've seen it so far. So I want to see more Jalen McDaniels. I want to see more Jalen McDaniels pairings with Paul Reed and DeAnthony Melton. Just a defensive nightmare for the other team, especially during the bench minutes. Also, I would love to see more Jalen McDaniels paired with Joel Embiid in those staggered lineups. I would love to see more how Jalen McDaniels can fit alongside James Harden, Joel Embiid, maybe a pick and roll with James Harden, maybe a pick and pop, maybe a I don't know. I just want to see Jalen McDaniels in different lineups and see how he really fits with the stars of the team, Tyrese Maxiell, Joel Embiid, James Harden. I want to see more of that. Also, I did see in the last game a couple of Paul Reed, James Harden pick and rolls. Paul Reed's a rim runner compared to somebody like Joel Embiid. So I like that. I also like the Tyrese Maxiell and Paul Reed pick and roll. So there's my keys, man. Get the best version of Tyrese Maxiell. Play Paul Reed at backup center. And continue to experiment with Jalen McDaniels. There you have it. Let's look at the rest of the schedule because it is brutal going down the stretch here. And maybe we can, potential spam, get out of here. Maybe we can predict some wins and losses. So I'm going to predict some wins and losses on the remainder of the schedule. We're going to do it assuming Doc Rivers does the right thing, okay? Tomorrow night against the Memphis Grizzlies, which, by the way, we will be watching that right here in the Watch Along studio on PlaybackTV, playback.tv/runitbackphilly. Tune in tomorrow night for Sixers versus Grizzlies and every game the rest of the season. If you're not there, what are you really doing with your life, all right? Tomorrow night against the Memphis Grizzlies, I'm going to say W. All right, I'm going to say W. Saturday against the Boston Celtics. That one's going to be huge because we lost to the Boston Celtics not healthy. We lost to the Boston Celtics without 4 of their starters. We got beat by Sam Howell and Kyle Anderson. You know what I'm saying? So the Sixers really need a redemption game that Saturday against the Boston Celtics. And I would like for them to get that. If they lose that game to the Boston Celtics healthy, then it's going to kind of tell me that we're not really competing with Boston in the playoffs at all. If we can get to the Eastern Conference Finals against Boston, that would probably be the end of the road for us. I would like to see that we can beat a healthy Boston Celtics team on Saturday night, February 25th. So I'm going to go W there, okay? Monday, February 27th against the Miami Heat. I'm going to go... That's one of those hangover games, man. That's one of those Monday games. Maybe they come out a little bit slow, a little bit flat, and they kind of get ran out of the building by athleticism. So I'm going to go loss to the Miami Heat there. Then we got another Miami Heat game Wednesday, March 1st. I'm going to go W, okay? March 2nd, Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. I don't think the Dallas Mavericks are very good. Even though they added Kyrie, I just don't think they're very good. I'm going to go W there. We got the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday, March 4th. I'm going to say that comes down to the wire, and we take a L, all right? Indiana, Minnesota, Portland. W, Indiana. W, Minnesota. W, Portland. W against Washington Wizards. Maybe another loss against the Cleveland Cavaliers then. W, Charlotte Hornets. W, Indiana Pacers. You got Chicago back-to-back. W. Unless we give up 45 to Zach LaVine again, there could be a loss in one of those. Then the end of March is the gauntlet. Okay, you got Golden State, Phoenix Suns, Denver Nuggets, Dallas Mavericks again, Toronto Raptors, Milwaukee Bucks, Boston Celtics, Miami Heat, Atlanta Hawks, Brooklyn Nets. So that end of the season run there, I'm going to go, if you can go, let's say, how many easy teams are on that list? Okay, one against Miami is a guaranteed W, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. If you can go 13-9 in that stretch, I think they are in good shape. If they can go 13-9 in that stretch, I think they are in good shape. They are in the 3rd seed in the East right now at 38-19. If you can go 13-9, if you can go 51 wins, 28 losses, I think you're in good shape. I think they finish the season as the 3 seed, and they play the New York Knicks in the first round of the playoffs. There you have it. DJ Eastwood's final end of the season prediction. There it is. 3rd seed, and they play the Miami Heat in the first round of the playoffs. No, the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks in the first round of the playoffs. Be sure to tune into Playback TV tomorrow night to watch Memphis Grizzlies versus Philadelphia 76ers right here in the Watch Along studio with me, DJ Eastwood. Playback.tv/runitbackphilly. Go join that thing, man. Y'all have a great day.